Always close your portals, kids. The story I am about to share is not one event, but a collection of ongoings in the townhouse I shared with my friend, as well as our connection to the paranormal. It was the October of 2016 in northern Kentucky. I had a falling out with my previous best friend, whom I shared the townhouse with, and suddenly had to fill the vacancy to be able to afford the rental unit. This resulted in my newly acquainted friend from work taking over the other half of the lease. I didn't know Cooper long, but I had no other options, and we seemed to get along well. I went to his grandmother's house to help him pick up his things for the move. The house felt cold and strange, the atmosphere feeling off. Her dining room was covered in angel dolls from wall to wall. Downstairs, where Cooper stayed, there was an impressive crystal ball on a table covered in copious amounts of crystals. His grandmother was a physic previously. She talked of shadow people and the other world as if they were her neighbor. She offered to read my palm, and reluctantly I gave it to her. I was a practicing pagan and believed in the paranormal, but was skeptic of most things too. She mentioned details of my life she had no way of knowing, nor did Cooper. I was a bit spooked, but we left shortly after. We invited a few friends over to help with the move and hang out. In Cooper's bedroom, which I never entered when my previous roommate was there, I felt this draw to the closet. I kept retreating from our laughing friend group and sitting in there. They hadn't noticed for a bit, and everyone went outside to retrieve more boxes. I turned the light off in the closet and sat in there with the door shut. It felt safe and soothing. Embarrassed to admit, I'm sort of afraid of the dark and small places, so this was out of character. When my friends came back upstairs, they noticed and convinced me to leave the closet to get dinner. The following week, Cooper admitted to having a nightmare, almost nightly, where there was this dark figure in his closet with a huge, toothy grin staring at him. Now here comes Halloween. As a practicing pagan, I felt compelled to do some spell work in honor of Samhain. I did this spell that was more of a love to ancestors and past loved ones. Well, I believe something went wrong, and I opened up a portal. Things started kicking off in the house quickly after. Starting that night, we went to a Halloween party and returned to the house late. I was drunk, of course. Went to use the downstairs bathroom, and I don't recall all the details myself because I was drunk, but my friend was not. Evidently, I was saying Bloody Mary in the mirror and talking to someone in the corner who I described as a woman in a grey dress. When I was taking a while, and Cooper could hear me talking to someone, he tried to open the door that doesn't lock, but it was stuck. Finally, after getting it open, he found me still talking to someone unseen in the corner in the complete dark. Shortly after, we both came home from work at the same time to discover my goddess pendant that hung around my bedroom door, knob for protection, was cut clean off as if with a knife. The same week, Cooper thought I was home when I wasn't on a few occasions, as he saw a woman with dark, long hair move from the bathroom to my bedroom. Almost daily, I often felt like someone was right behind me in the kitchen, walking with my every step. Then after that, we came upstairs once to see his door partially open. I saw a white head with glowing eyes drop down from his ceiling. By the drained colour of his face, he saw it too. We noped out of there and went to stay elsewhere that night. The final event before we aggressively tried to leave was one night we were in the living room. Cooper's dog was acting strange and ran upstairs. Cooper went to check on him, but was taking a while, so I came up. The door to his room was barricaded. I struggled to get in. Cooper's dog bolted out, spooked. Cooper sat in the middle of his room in a daze, mumbling. I didn't understand what was going on, but was trying to get him to snap out of it. Cooper suddenly looked behind me with fearful eyes and told me I had to go. Leave now. Behind me was the closet. Trying to rationalize that he's being ridiculous, I went to drag him up, and he reluctantly started to come. I felt a pain on my arm but ignored it. I still tried to convince myself this was all in my head. I grabbed his arm and started walking. Out of the room, convinced he'd be fine after we left. It felt like multiple people were pulling us back as I walked. It was difficult. We got out of the room and yanked the door shut. As we start to head down the stairs, he starts to gain more awareness and is confused. I look down to see 3 red scratch marks on my arm. After we left the house, we didn't have nearly as much paranormal encounters, which I was thankful for. When you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell on. Thank you. Till next time.